Cheek Okafor's eyes snapped open to the sound of his phone buzzing violently on the nightstand. Sunlight streamed through unfamiliar curtains, and the smell of expensive hotel sheets filled his nostrils. His head felt like a construction site. "What the?" he groaned, reaching for his phone. 17 missed calls from his mother. His wedding was in 3 hours. That's when he noticed the long, dark hair spread across the pillow next to him. "Jesus Christ!" he shouted, sitting up so fast his head spun. A young woman was lying beside him, wearing nothing but a hotel bathrobe that definitely wasn't hers when she arrived. The woman stirred at his outburst, her eyes fluttering open. She had the most beautiful face he had ever seen, with high cheekbones and skin like polished ebony. For a moment, he forgot to panic. Then reality crashed back in. "Who are you?" he demanded, scrambling out of bed and grabbing his scattered clothes from the floor. "How did you get into my bed? Were you paid to seduce me?" Adana sat up slowly, her head pounding like thunder during rainy season. The room spun slightly as she tried to focus on the tall, handsome man who was glaring at her like she had stolen his car. "Who are you?" she asked back, her voice hoarse. "How did we get here? Did we do it?" The sharp ache between her thighs answered her question before he could. She pulled the bathrobe tighter around herself, horrified realization dawning on her face. "Oh God," she whispered. "Oh God, oh God, oh God." "Don't you dare try to act innocent," Cheek snapped, struggling to put on his shirt. "I don't know what kind of game you're playing, but—" "Game?" Adana's voice rose to a near shriek. "What game? I don't even know your name. I don't know how I got here. I was at my graduation party and then... Graduation party?" Cheek stopped mid-button. "You were at the party last night?" "Yes. At the mansion in Victoria Island. My friend Grace took me there." Tears were starting to flow down her cheeks. "I only had a few drinks. I don't understand what happened." Cheek's phone buzzed again. His mother's name flashed on the screen along with a text. "Where are you? The bride is asking questions." "This is a disaster," he muttered, then looked at Adana with wild eyes. "You've ruined everything. You're a home wrecker, an opportunist, a gold digger." "Gold digger?" Adana stood up, swaying slightly. "I don't even know who you are. I don't want your money." Chike pulled out his wallet and threw a thick bundle of Naira notes at her feet. "Take it and disappear. Forget this ever happened. If I see you anywhere near me or my family, I'll make sure you regret it." Adana stared at the money scattered around her feet like fallen leaves. "I don't want your money," she repeated quietly. "I just want to go home." "Good. Stay there." Chike grabbed his jacket and stormed toward the door. "And if you even think about trying to contact me or create any drama, remember that I have the power to destroy your life completely." The door slammed behind him with a bang that made Adana flinch. She sank to the floor and sobbed until no more tears would come. Meanwhile, across Lagos, Chike stood in front of his bedroom mirror, adjusting his bow tie for the 5th time. His hands wouldn't stop shaking. "My son, you look handsome," his mother, Chief Mrs. Okafor, said as she entered his room. She was wearing traditional Aso OK that probably cost more than most people's cars. "Mama, I need to tell you something," Chike said quietly. "What is it?" "We don't have time for long conversations. The church is full of Lagos society. The governor himself is attending. Last night, at my bachelor party, something happened." Chief Mrs. Okafor's eyes narrowed. "What kind of something?" Cheek told her everything. The strange cocktail, waking up in the hotel room, the young woman who seemed as confused as he was. His mother listened in silence, her expression growing more horrified by the second. "She was a virgin, Mama," Cheek finished quietly. "I took her virginity, and then I called her terrible names and threw money at her like she was a prostitute," his mother finished coldly. "Yes." Chief Mrs. Okafor was quiet for a long moment. Then she straightened her shoulders. "My son, I have invited every important person in Lagos to this wedding. The president's wife is coming. The Minister of Finance will be here. Do you want to disgrace my generation?" "But Mama, this wedding must hold." "Whatever happened last night was an accident. You were probably drugged. These things happen at parties. But today you marry Foleki as planned. We can deal with everything else later." And so, With a heavy heart and overwhelming guilt, Chike married Folake Adebayo, daughter of one of Nigeria's most powerful political families, in what newspapers would later call the wedding of the decade. 3 weeks later, Adana sat in her childhood bedroom, staring at the small plastic stick in her trembling hands. 2 pink lines. Positive. She had managed to convince her parents that she was simply tired from graduation celebrations, but now everything was about to change. Adana! Her mother's voice boomed from downstairs. Come down here this instant. With shaking legs, Adana made her way to the living room, where both her parents sat with stern expressions. Sit down, her father commanded. Mrs. Okonkwo, her mother, wasted no time. Are you pregnant? Adana's mouth fell open. How did you... The vomiting every morning, the way you've been picking at your food. I may be old, but I'm not blind. Her mother's voice was ice cold. Who is responsible? Mama, I can explain. Explain what? Her father roared, standing up so fast his chair nearly toppled. Explain how you have disgraced this family? How am I supposed to show my face to my friends after my only daughter went and got herself pregnant, like a common street girl? Papa, please. Who is the father? Her mother demanded. What is his name? Where does he live? He will marry you immediately, or I will personally drag him to court. Adana broke down crying. I don't know. The silence that followed was deafening. You don't know, her father repeated slowly. I don't know his name. I don't know where he lives. I don't even think I would recognize him if I saw him again. Her mother stood up slowly, her face a mask of rage and disgust. Pack your bags. You're going to America. My sister lives in Houston. You will have this baby there. Give it up for adoption, and when you return, we will never speak of this shame again. Mama, no. This is not a discussion. You have brought enough embarrassment to this family. 9 months later, in a private hospital in Houston, Texas, Adana gave birth to a beautiful baby boy. She held him for exactly 7 minutes before the doctor gently took him away. I'm sorry, Miss Okonkwo, Doctor, Martinez said softly. We did everything we could, but your baby was stillborn. No, Adana whispered. He was crying. I heard him crying. Sometimes mothers think they hear things in moments of trauma, the nurse explained kindly. It's completely normal. Adana knew something was wrong, but she was young, alone, and in a foreign country. Who would believe her against doctors and nurses? On that same day, just 3 floors above, Folak Okafor was also in the hospital, but unlike Adana, she had never been pregnant. Years of trying had revealed that she would never be able to carry a child. Mrs. Okafor, Doctor, Martinez said to her, the adoption process has been completed. Here is your son. Folak held the baby boy and smiled. Cheek would never need to know that the child wasn't biologically theirs. Some secrets, she told herself, were better left buried. 5 years passed and, I quit, screamed the nanny, running down the marble staircase of the Okafor mansion with her suitcase bouncing behind her. That child is not human. He's a little devil. Behind her, the sound of something expensive crashing to the floor echoed through the house. 5-year-old Elijah Okafor stood at the top of the stairs, hands on his hips, looking quite pleased with himself. Good. I didn't like her anyway. She smelled like onions. Mr. Danjuma, the head of domestic staff, shook his head sadly. That's the 15th nanny this year, sir, he reported to Cheek, who was standing in his study doorway looking defeated. 15? Cheek rubbed his temples. What did he do this time? Well, sir, first he put salt in her tea instead of sugar. Then he hid all her shoes around the house. And when she tried to make him eat his vegetables, he told her that carrots make people ugly, and that's why she looked the way she did. Elijah, Cheek shouted. Yes, Daddy, came the innocent reply from upstairs. Come down here right now. Little feet thundered down the stairs, and Elijah appeared, still looking completely unrepentant. He was a beautiful child with delicate features and a strong jaw, though nobody knew yet how perfectly he combined his parents' best qualities. Why did you chase away another nanny? Cheek asked, kneeling to his son's eye level. Because she was boring, Elijah replied matter-of-factly. She couldn't even play football properly, and she made my scrambled eggs too wet. Yucky. Elijah, you cannot keep doing this. I have to travel for business, and I need someone to take care of you. I can take care of myself. I'm very smart. You're 5 years old. Almost 6, Elijah corrected seriously, and I know how to make cereal and brush my teeth and everything. Mr. Danjuma cleared his throat. Sir, there is one more candidate, a young lady named Adana. She starts tomorrow. Don't waste your time, Mr. Danjuma called out Blessing, one of the housemaids, as she walked past with a basket of laundry. She'll be gone in a week. I'm betting 2 days, actually. I bet 1 day, shouted Patience from the kitchen. You're all wrong, Elijah announced confidently. She'll be gone before dinner tomorrow. I have special plans for her. Cheek sighed deeply. What had his life become? The next morning, Adana stood outside the same type of mansion she had once attended for that fateful graduation party. But this time, she wasn't a guest. She was here to work. The past 5 years had been the hardest of her life. After losing her baby, she had fallen into a deep depression. Her grandmother had been the only one to show her love and patience during those dark months. Slowly, with therapy and her grandmother's wisdom, she had begun to heal. You look nervous, my dear, her grandmother had said that morning. Remember, children can sense fear. Be firm but loving. What if he doesn't like me, Grandmama? Then you make him like you. You have a gift with children. I've seen how the neighbors' children follow you around like baby ducks. Now, standing at the front door, Adana took a deep breath and rang the bell. Mr. Danjuma opened the door with a sympathetic smile. Miss Adana? Welcome. May God help you. Thank you, she replied, wondering why he looked like he was offering condolences. The master of the house is traveling, but young Master Elijah is waiting to meet you. He's in the living room. Adana followed him through corridors lined with expensive artwork. The house was beautiful but felt cold, like a museum. In the living room sat the most adorable little boy she had ever seen. He had huge, intelligent eyes and was wearing a school uniform that somehow looked disheveled despite being expensive. Hello, she said warmly, kneeling to his eye level. You must be Elijah. I'm Adana, and I'm going to be taking care of you. Elijah studied her carefully, like a detective examining evidence. You're prettier than the last one, but that doesn't matter because you'll be gone soon anyway. Why do you think that? Because they all leave. Nanny Sarah left because I put pepper in her cream. Nanny Janet left because I told everyone she picked her nose when she thought nobody was watching. Nanny Florence left because you're a little troublemaker, Adana finished with a smile. Elijah's eyes widened in surprise. You're not angry. Should I be angry? You're just a little boy who misses his daddy and wants attention. For the first time in months, Elijah was speechless. Now, Adana continued, I heard you don't like eating vegetables. Is that true? Vegetables are disgusting, Elijah declared. They taste like grass. Have you ever tried vegetables cooked the Nigerian way? With lots of spices and love? No. Well, today you're in for a treat. But first I need you to show me around the house and tell me all your rules. My rules? Yes, every little king has rules for his kingdom. What are yours? Elijah straightened up importantly. Well, first, nobody is allowed to touch my toy cars without permission. Second, I don't eat anything green unless it's ice cream. Third, bedtime is whenever I say it is. Fourth, I don't like baths because soap gets in my eyes. And fifth, I only watch cartoons, never boring grown-up shows. Adana nodded seriously, as if she were taking notes on matters of national importance. These are very good rules for a king. But I have some rules too. Would you like to hear them? Elijah, fascinated by this adult who was actually listening to him, nodded eagerly. First, kings must eat their vegetables to stay strong for their kingdom. Second, kings must take baths to look presentable to their subjects. Third, kings must go to bed at a reasonable time so they can wake up smart and ready to rule. And fourth, kings must always tell the truth to their most trusted advisors. Are you going to be my most trusted advisor? Elijah asked seriously. Only if you want me to be. Elijah considered this for a moment. Okay, but I still don't like vegetables. We'll start small, Adana laughed. Now, show me your toys. By the time the domestic staff gathered for lunch, they were already amazed. Through the windows, they could see Elijah actually playing calmly in the garden with Adana, showing her his collection of toy cars. "She's been here 4 hours and he hasn't screamed once," Blessing whispered in awe. "Maybe she's a witch," Patience suggested. "That boy has never been quiet for 4 hours in his entire life." "Don't say such things," Mr. Danjuma scolded, but he was equally puzzled. The real test came at lunchtime. Elijah had famously refused to eat anything that wasn't jollof rice, fried chicken, or ice cream for the past 6 months. "Elijah, time for lunch," Adana called. "I'm not hungry," came the automatic response. "That's fine. Kings don't have to eat if they don't want to. But I made something special for myself. I guess I'll eat it alone." Curiosity got the better of him. Elijah wandered into the dining room, where Adana was sitting with a plate of rice and perfectly seasoned vegetables that smelled incredible. "What's that?" he asked, climbing onto the chair next to her. "Jollof rice with vegetables cooked the way my grandmother taught me. She said it's the way queens and kings ate in the old days." "It smells good," Elijah admitted reluctantly. "Would you like to try just one tiny bite, as my food taster?" Kings always had food tasters to make sure their food was safe. Elijah considered this important responsibility. "Just one bite?" "Just one." He took a small bite of the vegetables, chewed thoughtfully, and then took another, and another. "These don't taste like grass," he announced. "That's because they're prepared with love and Nigerian spices." "Grass doesn't have any seasoning," Elijah giggled. Actually giggled. The sound was so rare that Patience dropped a plate in the kitchen from shock. Over the following weeks, something miraculous happened. Elijah, the terror of 15 nannies, became a different child under Adana's care. "Auntie Ada," he said one morning. He had decided that auntie was a more respectful title than nanny. "Why do you always smell like flowers?" "Because I use shea butter that my grandmother makes. She grows the flowers herself." "Can you teach me to make it?" "I want to smell like flowers too." "Boys can smell however they want to smell," Adana replied seriously. "Some boys like to smell like flowers. Others like to smell like cars or books or even like nothing at all." "I want to smell like you," Elijah decided. "You smell like home." The words hit Adana like a gentle punch to the heart. This little boy with his bright eyes and endless questions was slowly healing parts of her she didn't even know were broken. "Auntie Ada," Elijah said one afternoon as she helped him with his homework, "do you have children?" Adana's pen froze over his mathematics book. "No, sweetheart. I don't." "Why not?" "Sometimes grown-ups don't have children yet." "Maybe someday." "I think you would be the best mummy in the whole world," Elijah declared confidently. "Better than my first mummy who went away, and definitely better than all the nannies who ran away screaming." "Your first mummy?" "Yes, Daddy said she had to go far away when I was a baby. He doesn't like to talk about it, and it makes him sad, so I don't ask anymore. But I think about her sometimes." Adana felt her heart breaking for this little boy who was trying so hard to be brave. "Well," she said, ruffling his hair, "I think any mummy would be very lucky to have you as her son." "Really? Really? You're smart, funny, kind, and you're learning to eat your vegetables like a champion." Elijah beamed. "Auntie Ada?" "Yes. I love you." "I love you too, little king." Cheek returned from his 3-week business trip to Singapore expecting to find his household in chaos and a resignation letter from yet another nanny. Instead, he found something extraordinary. His son was sitting quietly at the dining table, eating dinner that included actual vegetables, and having what appeared to be an intelligent conversation with a young woman whose face he couldn't quite see from the doorway. "So you see, Auntie Ada," Elijah was saying, "if I save 10 naira every day for 1 year, how much money will I have?" "Well, let's calculate. There are 365 days in a year." 3,650 naira, Elijah shouted proudly. "Excellent. You're getting so good at mathematics. It's because you make it fun. Not like my teacher who just shouts numbers at us." Cheek cleared his throat and entered the dining room. The young woman turned around and he felt like he had been struck by lightning. She was absolutely beautiful, with kind eyes and a warm smile. But more than that, there was something familiar about her that he couldn't place. Daddy! Elijah jumped up and ran to hug him. You're back! Did you bring me anything? Yes, I brought you something, Cheek replied absently, still staring at the young woman. And who is this? This is Auntie Ada. She's the best nanny in the whole world. She makes vegetables taste good, and she knows how to fix toy cars. And she tells the funniest stories. Adana stood up gracefully. Good evening, sir. I'm Adana Okonkwo. I've been taking care of Elijah while you were away. Adana, Chike repeated slowly. Something about her name seemed familiar too. Sir, I should mention that Elijah has been an absolute angel. No problems at all. Chike looked at his son in amazement. Really? No tantrums? No running away from vegetables? Daddy, Auntie Ada says vegetables make you strong like superheroes. And she proves it because she's very strong. She can carry me all the way upstairs without getting tired. Is that so? Cheek was still studying Adana's face. Where had he seen her before? Also, Daddy, I have a very important question to ask you. What is it, son? Can Auntie Ada be my real mummy? Because she's perfect and I love her, and she makes the best jollof rice in the world. Adana blushed deeply. Elijah, you can't just ask your daddy something like that. Why not? Daddy always says I should ask for what I want. Cheek found himself smiling for the first time in weeks. We'll see, son. We'll see. That night, after Elijah had gone to bed willingly for the first time in his life, Cheek couldn't stop thinking about his new nanny. There was something about her that felt like déjà vu. Mr. Danjuma, he called to his head of staff. Tell me about Miss Adana. How did you find her? She came through the agency, sir. Very good references. She's been working with children since she returned from America 2 years ago. America? Yes, sir. She lived there for about 3 years. Something clicked in Chiki's mind. He went to his study and made a phone call to his private investigator. Tunde, I need you to look into someone for me. Quietly. 3 days later, Tunde called back with information that made Cheek's world tilt off its axis. Sir, are you sitting down? Just tell me what you found. Miss Adana Okonkwo, 27 years old, graduated from University of Lagos in 2020, attended a graduation party at the Meridian Hotel the night before your wedding, traveled to America immediately after for... Sir, she was pregnant. Cheek's blood ran cold. Pregnant? Yes, sir. She gave birth in Houston on the same day your ex-wife had your son. But here's the strange part. According to hospital records, her baby was reported as stillborn. But I found something interesting. The same doctor who delivered her baby also handled your ex-wife's adoption process, Dr. Martinez. And sir, I did some more digging into your ex-wife's medical history. What did you find? She was never pregnant, sir. She was infertile. She couldn't have children. The phone slipped from Cheek's hand and clattered to the floor. Auntie Ada, why do you look sad sometimes? Elijah asked one afternoon as they worked on a puzzle together. Adana was surprised. Do I look sad? Yes, especially when you think I'm not looking. You get this faraway look like you're thinking about something that makes your heart hurt. This child was too perceptive for his own good. Sometimes grown-ups think about things that happened a long time ago, she said carefully. Like what? Well, I once had to say goodbye to someone very important to me. Someone I love very much. Where did they go? Heaven? Elijah nodded solemnly. Like my first mummy. Your first mummy isn't in heaven, sweetheart. She just had to go away. But I don't remember her at all. Daddy doesn't have any pictures of her either. Sometimes I pretend you're my first mummy and that you just came back home. Adana's eyes filled with tears. She quickly blinked away. That's a beautiful thought, Elijah. Auntie Ada. Yes? I wish you really were my mummy. Then you'd never have to leave. Oh, sweetheart. Adana pulled him into a hug, her heart breaking and healing at the same time. It happened on a Tuesday morning while Chiki was in Abuja for a business meeting. Elijah woke up complaining of stomach pain, and by afternoon, he could barely stand. Auntie Ada, he whispered, I feel very sick. Adana felt his forehead. He was burning with fever. Mr. Danjuma, Call the doctor immediately, she ordered, her nursing instincts kicking in from courses she had taken in America. Dr. Ogunde arrived within an hour and examined Elijah thoroughly. His expression grew grave. We need to get him to the hospital immediately. This looks like it could be his kidneys. At Lagos University Teaching Hospital, the diagnosis was worse than they feared. I'm afraid it's acute kidney failure, doctor. Ogunde explained to Adana, who was the only guardian present. We need to start dialysis immediately, but ultimately, he'll need a kidney transplant. How long do we have? Days, maybe a week, and he has a very rare blood type. O negative. Only about 5% of Nigerians have it. Adana felt the world spinning around her. Test my blood. Miss, you're not a family member. Test my blood right now. 20 minutes later, doctor. Ogunde returned with a shocked expression. You're a perfect match. Not just compatible. Perfect. It's like you're related to him. Then let's do the surgery. Miss Adana, this is a major decision. You could wait for the child's father to return. There's no time to wait. That little boy in there is my responsibility. I won't let him die because of paperwork.